Hello there guys, my name is Jay or Gimpy Dwarf and welcome back to another episode of Fleet Commander. So what are we looking at today? Basically what we're looking at today is a ship that I have called the Longbow, the DDC-Longbow. Now what is this ship? It is a carrier, of course. This is the second carrier that I have been working on and creating after the first one didn't go as planned, being as I sort of, lost touch with what I wanted to do with it. But with this one I had very clear goals with it. I wanted a section on the front or the back that basically allowed for ships to dock off of the actual ship, and basically I've called it a deployer type carrier. So this thing is purely bred to just hold ships and they drop off and fly off, and then this thing can provide some sort of support, but its whole purpose is to be in the back, as I've stated. In terms of this ship, it doesn't really take the shape of a 21st century boat like I've been doing before, and I'm slowly morphing the concept of what I want to do to just cater to whatever the ship needs to be. So with this one, again, what I've gone with is this long front section, which is just purely dedicated to cargo in this section here, with some guns on just for a bit of protection, and a few sort of thrusters just for manoeuvring purposes. And then we've got this long section here which is just for people to run down and jump into their ships. So this is it really. I mean, there's not a lot to it. It's quite compact and quite tidy, I think, and it's for the size it's very good, and it does exactly what you need it to do. We start off at the bottom end of the actual this section here, this walkway section, and the only real way you can get into these ships currently is to jump in and fly around. So the way the ships are designed, the Kestrals, they're not designed to enable you to jump in from sort of this angle, but it works nicely anyway for holding the ships in place, and seems to work for what I need to, so I kind of stuck with that. So down here we've got a whole bunch of them. There's 6 in total, and it's just got this really nice sort of just pointed section of roof here just to set it off a little bit more. And then we've got brakes in the railings, of course, for when you want to jump in. So again, 6 of the ships down here. It looks really cool actually to have all these waiting for you. Of course they're not very well protected, but again, if this thing is further enough away, then they should be able to drop off and fly off and attack the enemy. So let's get inside. So as you wander in here, I've given it red lights now for the airlock section, and in here, of course, as I've just stated, it is the airlock section. So it's quite a smaller room than some of the airlocks I've been building before, because some of the airlocks I've built before are stupidly big, and if people have mentioned depressurizing and repressurizing a room, it gets harder and takes longer as the room is quite big. So I've decreased the size of them a little bit and made it a nice size. I think this is a reasonable size for an airlock, in all fairness. Now you do have lights in here, and we have lights for the outer section there as well, so I've just turned all those lights off and I've turned them back on again. Again, that's just my own personal thing for energy saving more than anything else. But we do have controls up in the bridge for these doors to open, so you can have full control over them when you are piloting the ship, and making sure people can't exactly compromise the ship. So you come through the airlock and you've got this nice walkway section with a few seats. Just tried to make it as homely as possible. It is quite a small ship, so I think it's a nice size and it fits everything in perfectly, in all fairness. So down here again we have light switches for here, so you can turn things off and on. And then if we come through this door, we've got the the captain's quarters, which is where the captain would of course stay and sleep and everything, and he'd jump in his bed and all that gubbins, and watch TV, because I figured let's put a TV there because he may want to watch TV, and he's got all the pleasantries at his disposal, being the captain. So again, light switch in here as well, and if we close that door, over the road from him we also have a canteen area. So we've got 3 tables here, so that's 4, 8, 12, so you can see 12 in here, which is quite nice. Again, you're not going to have that many people sitting in here. This kind of caters nicely for that, because you'll only have a few in the crew area, in the bridge, and then you'll have the 6 pilots, of course. So it's adequate space, I feel, for, you know, the amount of people that will be on here. And we've got a nice little bench here where they can dish out all the food, and they've got a coffee machine back here, as well as some shelving which is nicely cramped up here, and you can still walk down there as well, which is good. So we've got that there, and again, light switch. Most rooms will have light switches, but I'll point them out anyway just because it's a full show through of the ship. So we come back here and it gets quite dark here. Reason why is because I can't really place a lot of lighting down here because of blocks being in the way and whatnot. But we come through here and we have a nice fully kitted out bathroom area with some lockers for changing, etc. And then we've got a sink here as well. So nice sort of potted plant, just that add a little bit of, you know, homeliness to it. And we've also got, of course, the shower. So we'll come through. Oh, light switch. So we'll come back through here, and then we'll come around here and then open this door, and this door is where the bedrooms are for the men. So this is quite cozy, and I have taken some inspiration from some of Dark Lord's stuff, and I've sort of put them in these nice little alcoves sort of sections rather than doubling up in the height. I figured keep them one high because of safety and whatever, climbing up to the top. But we've got 6 beds here for 6 crew members, of course, 6 pilots, because you'd most likely have your pilots sort of, you know, resting and just keeping them, you know, really quite, you know, chilled out and maintaining them for when they need to go into battle. So we've got, you know, you can fully keep them asleep, you know, you keep them happy in here. And I have happened to have forgot to put the light switch on this one, but we'll do that now. There we go. So we do have lights in here as well, which is nice. You do see the venting from the thrusters on the back, but it kind of adds a little bit of detail and makes, you know, mixes it up a bit with the colours. So if we close that door, now we do have a lift here, which is a double lift, just in case you want to put 2 people on this. And this takes you up to the bridge. Now this ship is really compact, and I'm really happy with how compact it actually is, and I built it in a different way to how I normally build. Basically I built by placing what I want where I want it, and then built the ship around it rather than building out the ship and then trying to custom fit it. So in here we have the bridge section. We have this lower bridge section here which you can, you know, put buttons on the panels to do specific things, and, you know, just basic controls from here just in case you need to do something. Oh, does that one work as well? Okay, cool. So I was just double checking that these work as well. So we do have 2 controls for those. Now as you come up the stairs, you've got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got 6 benches here. Most of them are allocated to things like this one is the communications, so you've got access to the beacons and the antennas and increasing and decreasing the range. And then in this one we actually have the connectors, so you can turn the connectors on and off, turn throw out and collect on and off. And then also here we've got the co-pilot seat, which actually has all the guns, and you can access the guns and turn them all on and off. So if I do this, you'll see the lasers turn on for the Gatling cannons there, and they'll probably start moving. There we go. So we do actually have control over some of the turrets here, well, all of the turrets here, and we can, you know, if you want better, you know, a better shot, then we can sort of go into the specific turrets and work with them there. So we've got that one, and then we've also got the main pilot seat, which does have access to the doors, as you see there on the 3 and 4 tab, and then we also have access for the lift and battery power, because this thing does have some backup batteries which are kept in the nose section just in case it does get separated and needs a little bit of power just to maintain itself safe, or, you know, just in case you want to reuse it for recharging the ships if it's, you know, separated from the ship. You never know what you want to do. And then we've got these other 2 benches which haven't been allocated for anything, but, you know, you can, I'm sure you'd find a use for them, especially if you want to separate the guns and say these are the top guns, these are the bottom guns. So you may want to do something like that. I actually went with a different design for the glass in here, and I went with like a proper sort of battleship look where the glass jolts out on an angle, and I took that sort of from modern day vessels and added it into this. I figured it looks quite nice in here as a ship. You can't really see above you obviously, but you can see around you a good, well, you know, you can see partly behind you. There's It's not a full 360 degree view, probably 270 maybe, but it's pretty good. It's pretty adequate for what it needs to do. So if I go back down here, then what I'll do is I'll show you how you would want to jump into one of the little ships. So say if you were called to arms, you could go down here, you know, you'd have all 6 pilots ready to go. They'd all get in this airlock, close the door, you know, and then they'd jump out here, and then that door would close, and then they'd run to the nearest ship. So whatever ship is nearest to them and is docked, they can jump into, and I'll jump into the one they need. And I do have on these ships access to be able to disconnect. So if I go onto the G, we've got the collect on and off, and the throw out on and off, and then we also have the toggle block on and off for the actual connector itself. So if I hit 7, we disconnect and can fly off. And what that has done is actually just turn the connector off for the Kestrals connector rather than the ships. I figured it's easier to turn the Kestrals on and off, and I've actually altered with the Mark II. Is it this is the Mark II? I'm sure it's the Mark II. I'm sure it's the Mark. Yeah, the issue 2 on the lightweight. It's actually got that in the blueprint now, so these controls are standard on it when you load in a blueprint of it. By the time the next sort of build comes around, I will have had these on the workshop. I will have put these carriers onto the workshop themselves, and it should be quite nice for you guys to play around with, I think. I do like this ship quite a lot, and it seemed quite a simple design, and it's very effective at what it does and what it needs to do. So if I just turn my connector back on and back up into this, there we go, it pulls me into the spot, I hit P and it locks me in. Now I believe there's a few issues with the connections sometimes where when flying these will move around. I'm going to try and combat that if I can on newer ships and make it so they have like some sort of, you know, landing gear that keeps them held on, or their landing gears hold them on as well as the connector. But currently, as it stands, they do work to some extent, but some of them will move and jitter around every now and then, but that's just the game and the problems that occur with things like that. So this is the DDC-Longbow, guys. It's, again, I'm proud of it because it's quite streamlined, and it's got everything it needs in it, and it does the job, and I've tried to protect it as well as I can. And I've made sure to put, you know, turrets in strategic places like in these parts, which could be potentially weaker points, and of course they're connected up, so well, conveyed up anyway. So these are like, you know, points where it would probably want to try and defend these ships, which is a nice thing. So when they're docked, if they do get, you know, shot at or try to get shot at, those can help defend against that. This is it really. I mean, on the underside there's 2 more guns under there just for a bit more added protection. It's quite flat in design, in all fairness. I really hope, you know, you guys like this one. I really do like it. It's very simple again and effective design. And what I'll try and do is when I sort of begin making the next Fleet Commander ships, and when I show you the next one, hopefully these will be on the workshop. I'll try and get them up as quick as I can, but it's getting all the pictures together, and then I'll have the Kestrel to do and all its variants and all this other gubbins. The other blueprints, the smaller blueprints of the Kestrels and things, are easier to do, so those may go first. But yeah, just keep an eye on the workshop on my page and just see what pops up there every now and then. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you do want to comment, good or bad, please feel free in the comment section below. Anything helps, and I am trying to take on as much as I can on board, but sometimes my building skill can, you know, limit me to what I can and can't do because, you know, the way my brain's sort of working and figuring this out. So yeah, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please like, favourite, and of course subscribe for more, and I will see you guys in the next episode of Fleet Commanders. Peace!